right, good morning everyone. It is 8:52 in the morning of March the 11th, 2022, and this is my pre-market strategy session. So today, first thing that I have up here is the TNX, and it is looking like it is at the top end of its range. And it's interesting. Chairman Powell is supposed to speak today at some point. I usually don't keep up with it too much. But it's interesting that it's at the top end of its range today. And if he comes out and he announces that there's going to be a rate hike, which he's expected to do, and I can't remember, I don't know what the statistics are. I don't have a Bloomberg terminal either to see it. But I think the likelihood is very high that he's going to announce a rate hike. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the 10-year. Today it'll be interesting to see what happens, but then over the course of the next week, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. It's worth, in my opinion, I am going to take a trade on yields here. I will look to go long bonds. It's sort of contrary to what's supposed to happen when the Fed is raising rates, but it's just, you never know. So okay, so yeah, I'm bullish the 10-year, bearish the rates. A little bit of a weird definitely counterintuitive. Not going to take a lot of risk there, but that's the way it's supposed to go. It doesn't make sense to me, but you know what makes sense and what's profitable are two different things when you're trading. So okay, next up, we've got the S&P. Let me pull. Here's the futures. So interesting thing happened here. That was this morning. The futures went right up to the top of the risk range here in the pre-market and is now dying away. Today's going to be. I might sit out. Well, we'll see what happens. But there's a lot. There's what Russia and the Ukraine are kind of starting to talk. It's and there's some optimism there. Then that's sandwiched into some recent inflation data came out, and then there's something else that came out today. I really don't keep up with it too much. And then the Fed is supposed to speak. So there's a lot kind of going on today. That is these are things that can really pop up all of a sudden and really screw up a trade that's working. I'm sure if there's anybody out there listening to this who's a trader, who's been trading for a while, you've been in a trade that's been working for, give it an hour, a day, a week, whatever it is, and then something comes along and just, either wipes out your profits or, definitely decreases, to your profits to where they're fractional, So today, I get the feeling today's just going to be one of those days. It's going to be a really tough day to trade. Maybe after everything's like said and done, like I don't know what time Powell's supposed to speak. I don't know what kind of earnings reports are coming out before the bell. All this other stuff. I really just I just trade the charts that's in front of me. And today, things could get quite erratic. So yeah, I'll just kind of leave it at that. Although the Nasdaq. Look at the Nasdaq is still above its range there. It's this thing. I tell you, every time it starts to dip down, the range comes with it, and it's been chasing the top end of the range for weeks. Interesting thing happening here with the Nasdaq. And actually, now that we mention it, let's see. I think it's the SPY. I'm gonna have to go to the SPY to look at it. Take a look at the SPY chart here real quick. So pre-market, this is interesting. So this red line right here is a downward sloping resistance line. And it's a general direction of the trend. But here in the pre-market, you can see in the 10 minutes, popped up above that line. So a pop up above and a push past it, is short-term bullish. This move right here, I mean, if it were, regular hours where I could trade options on it, I would have bought when it crossed this line right here. Let's see on the 1 minute if it actually bumped up above and just ran, or yeah, okay. So on the 1 minute, it just this is the 5 minute. Hang on. Yeah, pretty much the same deal on the 5 minute there. pretty quick trade. It didn't come back in touch and then confirm and go. So this is a peak above. Let's see if it's a peak above and fail, or if it's a peak above and continuation. That'll be long-term bullish. That we are not going into long-term bullish economic conditions, not at least for the next 6 months, at least, maybe longer. So I'm guessing this is probably going to be a look above and fail, a peak above, and then back into the doldrums for a little bit. We'll have to see. Let's see. So so that's the E-mini, or that's the S&P, and then the NASDAQ, and then the VIX. VIX is quite interesting here. The VIX is getting to the low end of its range, which means once this thing gets into the low end of its range, it's time to start shorting, and shorting heavily. Today could be one of those days. We'll see, where they kill it into the close. I mean, who wants to be long over the weekend? We'll have to see, though. We'll have to see. The dollar is kind of in the middle of its range. Nothing really happening there that's tradable. There's no setup there for me right now. Definitely something's forming right here. This is potentially a bull flag right here that's being formed. So there's no confirmation yet, no break above yet, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how things work out. And then oil is on the move now. Russia and Ukraine are kind of like easing tensions, it seems. Oil is selling off a bit, and U.S. oil here. This is an interesting spot for it to have a blow off top and then come back down. Kind of I don't remember when it is that I put this top in, or this line in right here. But it looks like it is obeying it. It is somewhat paying attention to it. So U.S. oil, in my opinion, I think this Russia thing is way over. I don't want to say way overblown. It's serious. But it's not as serious as World War III. I could be totally wrong, because what was it Obama said about Joe Biden? Obama said, never underestimate Joe Biden's ability to fuck things up, is what President Obama said about Joe Biden when Joe Biden was vice president. So I don't think that we're headed for World War III. I think cooler heads will prevail. But there is a leftist faction in this country that I think would take us to war over oil, so that oil would cost more. It would be like, I think there's this feeling on the left that what they're doing right now is expediting the demise of big oil, expediting the demise of fossil fuels. I don't know. And they don't, in my opinion, the way it looks to me is that a lot of these people don't seem to care at all about who gets hurt in the process. And there are people getting hurt right now in the process of whatever kind of sort of government intervention is going on in our energy markets right now. It's hurting a lot of people, and the left that's in charge just doesn't really seem to care at all. Doesn't seem to bother them at all, and so their willingness to do whatever it takes in order to get to the ends, whatever goal it is, whether it's electric vehicles or who knows. I mean, really, who knows? Exactly, who knows? I mean, I think it's actually kind of obvious what's going on, but you never quite know someone's motivations until they explicitly state it to you. And even then, they're probably lying. So anyway, oil, with tensions easing between Russia and Ukraine, energy, gold, so on, they're going to kind of lose support. Here we go. Look at the 10 minute on gold, 10 minute on oil. Yeah, it's all kind starting to soften a bit. Amazon is still doing well after its big news about it's going to do a split, and then there was something else too about Amazon. It's very nice, bullish in a bearish market. That's very good. Yeah, kind of everything's kind of catching a bid this morning. I mean, everything, equity wise, commodities look like they're softening a bit. So the seesaw goes up and down. What goes up on one side, tends to be something on the other side going down. So, all right, I don't know. I don't have any sort of sense of which direction things are really going to go today. Rates, I don't know. I mean, really, I think I'm going to sit out for today. Unless something gets really, really obvious. I think I'm going to sit the day out until at least after the Fed makes its announcements. All right, everybody. Good luck out there. Keep your wrists tight. Click like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tap the bell, and I will see you on Monday's strategy session. Have a good weekend, everyone. I am out.